Less than a week after the U.S. Supreme Court upheld protesters' rights to picket military funerals, a Maryland congressman is fighting back. Jeff Hager joins us now with more on the proposed Safe Haven for Heroes Act. Jeff?
Kelly, the nation's highest court ruled in favor of the Westboro Baptist Church as a matter of free speech. But Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger wants to limit the time, place, and manner by which they can exercise that right.
God showed his wrath to thee.
Short of fire and brimstone, members of the Westboro Baptist Church hurled smears and jeers of every kind at the funeral for Marine Lance Corporal Matthew Snyder, and they were unrepenting in their attack.
Look, I have 11 children. I feel so sorry for that child. But it's too late to discuss him. He's in hell.
Even though the Supreme Court sided with the protesters last week, the practice of protesting military funerals doesn't sit well with many veterans.
And the family ought to be able to have that time for themselves without putting up with a bunch of goofy lunatics running around.
To that end, Maryland Congressman Dutch Ruppersberger says he's filing a bill to push the protesters back.
This bill will prohibit protests for 5 hours preceding a military funeral and 5 hours after the funeral. It will also limit protests that do not take place to 2,500 feet from the funeral facility.
Right now, the grace period for grieving families is just an hour before and after the service, and protesters can set up just 300 feet away.
I'm just another general. I want to say thanks.
The congressman says the proposed rules would still allow for families to welcome vet groups like the Patriot Guard to attend the services while limiting the chance for potential violence.
If I see him doing it, I'm probably going to smack somebody in the head. I'm an old guy, just out of because it galls me to the bone.
Congressman Ruppersberger says he has the support of Al Snyder, the grieving father who sued the Westboro Baptist Church. Now, shortly after the protesters appeared at Snyder's funeral, then President Bush signed a law banning such protests from national cemeteries. Jeff Hager, ABC 2 News.
This is a topic that had a lot of people sounding off last week on the Supreme Court's decision to uphold those protesters' rights to picket at military funerals. Now we're asking you about Ruppersberger's proposal. Is this a good way around last week's Supreme Court decision? Here's what some of you had to say on our Facebook fan page. Melinda writes, "Go Dutch. I knew I liked him. You got my vote for sure." Tammy writes, "The only way this will work is if they amend the Constitution. It has to be a constitutional amendment." And Pat says, "Aren't there laws against hate speech already? Can't they use those laws to ban protest?" And Bruce writes, "As a conservative Republican, I'm all for Ruppersberger on this one."